At the beginning of the fiscal year 2014, the Street Department officially became part of the City of Murfreesboro's Engineering Department. The goal of the Murfreesboro Engineering Department is to provide citizens with good, safe streets and storm drainage that function well. The Street Division of Engineering is committed to this goal and more. The consolidation of the departments gives way to improved communication, and with a revised approach to maintenance, projects involving city infrastructure can be handled more timely and efficiently, which greatly benefits the city of Murfreesboro.
In the engineering department, we're excited. We merged with the street department, and really excited about the opportunities that brought to our department. For a long time, we've taken a lot of the complaints, a lot of the concerns of the residents, and now we feel like we've got just a seamless connection with the folks that are actually able to go out and to do the repairs. So we're excited about the opportunity. Great group in the street department. I've really had a good time working with them, getting to know them better over the last couple of months. But now that they're actually part of our department and actually having meetings with them, actually, really getting in more into the nuts and bolts of what they do every day. I think it's just really improved our ability to offer service to the residents of Murfreesboro. Well, the street division is responsible for all the maintenance in the right-of-way in the city of Murfreesboro, and also for any easements that we have. So anything that needs any type of maintaining, if you got a pothole in the street, that's certainly curb and gutter, having drainage problems, any of those would fall within the street division. And they've got crews that actually do that work, and then we also contract that out, some of that work out to our annual contractor. They also manage the paving contracts. That's actually Brad Beavers has actually moved up into our department, and he manages that, but that's resurfacing of our streets, and we're really excited about that and how that's progressing. Really a big part of street paving is obviously coordinating with the traffic signals and with the striping. Now we're all within we're just down the hallway, literally, of each other. So we're able to coordinate that work and to, if we need to get information out to the public as far as upcoming projects, that's made that a lot easier. It's really just combined all of the street maintenance, all the right-of-way maintenance into, even while we may be in a couple of different divisions, a couple of different departments, we're all in the same location now, and so it's really helped out our ability to get that work done and to get it done more quickly. We're paving quite a bit more now. Getting a lot more quantity down because of some changes that they've made in our annual paving contract, the crews with them. So in doing that, since we're doing a lot more work, it's even more important to want to be able to coordinate that with the transportation department, and then also internally with engineering and the street division. A lot of the things we're doing now is concerning drainage. The stormwater user fee has been in place for a few years now, and we're actually starting to be able to get some money built up to we're actually able to go out and to do these projects. So we get calls, get concerns about flooding from residents or standing water or something of that nature, maybe an inlet that's collapsed. Pipe maybe that's clogged up. Those calls come to the engineering department. Tim Jackson, Ron Dennis does a real good job as far as of receiving those calls and then going out and actually taking a look at them. We prioritize them based on I guess the immediate need. When I say that, I mean, is it dangerous to life and health? Is it something going on? Is a road flooding someplace where someone could possibly hydroplane and then go off the road? and then is there property damage involved? Obviously, those are going to be very critical to us. We don't want folks to be out, any money as far as having to replace a heating and air unit or something that's flooding in their property. So we get these calls, we prioritize them based on the need, and then we'll schedule either the street division to go out with their crews and to be able to take care of it, or if they're busy, we actually have, or if it's a larger project, we actually have an annual contract that we'll schedule that work through. Some projects we're able to get to fairly quickly. Sometimes we'll be able to get to it within a few days, maybe a week or two. Some of them that take a little bit longer that we want to do an investigation on, take a little bit more time to get to it. But we're excited about really excited about the funds that the stormwater user fee has given us to be able to go out and to address some of these drainage projects. The street projects themselves, the paving is done. Those are done by actually. There's an inventory that's made up by our senior public works inspector, and he'll actually grade the streets, and then we'll go in and he'll schedule those for a year out. We're actually setting up, and this is something new also, that with this combination of departments, or this combining of the departments, we're setting up with a 5-year paving program. So we can tell you, we'll be able to tell you 3-4 years out how far your street is in the paving program. It also helps us coordinate with the utilities, with the transportation department, so it'll give them a little bit more heads up, if you will, on the work that we're going to do. Most of the potholes, most of the street repairs that we do, most of that is from folks calling in, or just something that we'll notice while some of our crews are out. Police will give us some heads up. Obviously, they're on the streets quite a bit. They'll give us a heads up if they're having trouble with an area that may be slick, that we may need to resurface. So it's really, we do the work, but it's really a team effort. Just everybody coming together to making sure that things are addressed as quickly as possible. I would like to say we're excited with the fact that Raymond Hillis is on board as the street superintendent. Raymond is a longtime city employee, started part-time on a weed eater, and he's progressed all the way up by hard work and by really showing responsibility. And folks probably don't know this, but he was, we had a lot of accolades for our cleanup work on the Good Friday tornado. Raymond was over all that. It's his role as a project coordinator with the city, and now he's just made the next step up and is now the street superintendent. I've gotten a couple of emails just over the last 2 to 3 weeks about citizens, residents, thanking me for the work that they've been able to do, and so we're excited about that. The more work that they can do is even more quickly that we can get to projects and get residents' needs met more quickly.
Well, my job duties are simply to we've got 3 crews that are actually in the street division, and my job is to be sure that those job functions of the street division are carried out efficiently and most cost effectively, and that we do a good job. So just to kind of give you an idea of what the street department is really about, right now it is basically broken up into 3 crews. Those crews, with it coming actually to an end of grass season right now, we have a construction crew, we have 2 other mowing crews. And really, if I could start with the mowing crews first, I want to talk a little bit about right-of-way mowing. And what we do, in a sense, is we have one crew that it consists of tractors, and their job is to obviously mow the right-of-way limits that the city owns. And that's constructed of about 5 tractors that run every day. We have taken away from that crew and turned it into 4 so that we can build the new construction crew. And right now, they basically mow about 200 linear miles of road shoulder every 2 weeks to 2.5 weeks. And if you kind of just run the numbers on that a little bit, that's about 1,000 acres that they mow every time they make a round. And they usually try to get 2 rounds each month. So, I mean, you're looking at 2,000 acres that this crew alone mows. So it is a large area that we are responsible for. With there being about 460 linear miles of road within the city of Murfreesboro, you can kind of see these guys have got a big task that they do. So we're quite proud of that group and what they do, and they do a fantastic job. We also have a crew that mows the medians, and they probably mow about 50 linear miles, and they too, it takes them about 2 weeks to make their rounds. That crew will also have guys that do trimming in behind them. And with this season, it being unseasonably wet, we've had a very difficult time trying to keep up with that. But now it's starting to slow down a little bit, and it is just, those guys have just done a fantastic job trying to stay on top of it. So you can kind of get an idea of the volume or the amount of grass that we are responsible for. A lot of people, when they think about the street department, they don't think about that, but it is a huge undertaking, and it takes just about every employee we've got to be able to stay on top of it. Right now we consist of about 25 full-time employees, and then we also utilize the inmate workforce labor out at the Rutherford County Workhouse. And we get about 10 to 12 inmates every day. And those guys are assigned a supervisor that watches them, and you know, they will weed eat, they will pick up trash, they'll do whatever we kind of ask them to do. But you know, you're looking at 1/3 of our workforce comes from inmate labor, which is free to the city. So you know, in order for the street department to operate the way that it should, you know, you're looking at 35 people easily. So you know, we're quite proud that we're trying to save as much money as we possibly can, but also, you know, try to perform at a maximum level. Since grass and this time of year is so busy, what I've tried to do is build a full-time construction crew. And what those guys are doing right now is just a crew of 4 men and a supervisor. And what we've been doing is going around, and they'll take care of asphalt digouts. A lot of times the public will see a pothole. Well, usually there's something that caused that pothole. So we go in, we square cut, saw cut it out, dig it out, try to determine if it's a failure in the base or something like that. And we go back and we fix asphalt around town. And then also part of that is they'll fix curb and gutter that's busted, sidewalk that's busted or dangerous, you know, some driveway ramps, things of that nature that they do all day long. They're also right now taking care of a lot of storm drain issues. You know, with the storm drain system and how it functions, they go in and they may regrade a storm drain's ditch, may lay some storm drain pipe. If we have a failure in a pipe somewhere, they go in and fix it. So this crew is really, really essential for the street department and the public in general, because we have just recently, over the last few months, we have taken on about 14 different jobs, and I just did a quick cost estimate on that and just what we would charge if we were really charging. And you know, we come up over $60,000 just in the last couple of months of what we've been doing. And so we see that as a savings too, because if it doesn't get done, we have to contract that out, and obviously we can do that much more cost efficient within the city than we could outside. So we're quite proud of that crew as well. I will tell you one other thing. About the middle of October, we start with a leaf collection system. And what we normally do is the crews that's been mowing grass, since grass is slowing down and getting to a stopping point, we will in turn start putting those guys into leaf machines, as we call them. Right now we have 4 large leaf vac trucks. Those trucks will typically hold about 3.5 tons of leaves. That's a lot of leaves to be in a truck. And then what normally happens, last year we accumulated about 877 tons of leaves that were taken down to the solid waste department to be made into mulch. So you can kind of get an idea of the volume of leaves that we pick up. So, you know, it normally takes about 2.5 months to 3 months to pick up all the leaves around town. So That is a major undertaking as well, and I know we always get a large volume of calls during that time, but we are working. I just had a meeting with the Director of Solid Waste here 2 weeks ago, and we are re-looking at how we run the city, and we actually had sat down and divided the map up. So Solid Waste will be helping us this year, and we're excited about that. And we're going to be working together to be sure that we try to get everybody's leaves up as quickly as we can. But we just ask that everybody be as patient with us, because it is a large volume. That is just what we picked up, and I mean, and you're looking at we may get 5 or 6 loads a day. It takes quite a bit of time to fill up one of these trucks. So, with 877 tons, I mean, you're looking at 300 truckloads. We have 3 street sweepers that run full-time every day. We've got 2 of those that come in at 4 o'clock in the morning, and they start sweeping, and they maintain, those 2 drivers concentrate on state routes. So they'll sweep state routes early in the morning to try to get ahead of traffic so that we get it cleaned up for everybody who comes into town. We have 1 street sweeper that comes in at 6 o'clock, and he concentrates on the downtown areas, the heavy areas, and then after they get their morning sweeping done, they are each assigned a section of town that they will sweep and take care of that. I read an interesting statistic the other day that said that there's about 1,000 pounds of debris every linear mile that's swept, and with 460 linear miles that we're maintaining, you can see the volume of debris that we pick up, and we believe it's an essential part to the stormwater runoff as well, because if we can catch it before it gets into the storm drain system, we have made it a cleaner environment as well. So we try to get ahead of things, keep it clean, and we're quite proud of those guys as well too. Our emergency response is set up in that we keep 2 full-time employees on call 24/7. And the way that's set up, if anything happens, if a storm comes through and a tree falls in the road, if the police department sees it and responds to it, they call dispatch. Dispatch calls our on-call guys. The on-call guys respond. If it's larger than 1 or 2 trees that they can handle, they begin calling other help in, and then we start responding as that needs. Storm related, obviously it's hard to predict what's going to happen, but in a windstorm, things of that nature, we respond as quickly as we can. I was actually in charge of cleaning up the tornado damage back in '09, I believe it was, and the street department was really essential, showing up, helping clean up with that. And we've got a contract already set up where we can hire contractors on an emergency basis when we need them. It just depends on how big the storm is. And obviously, if it's a small storm, all the city departments work together in making those efforts and clean up as quickly and as safely as we possibly can. But then if it's even larger than that, we have the capability of going outside and hiring additional help as well. The snow season, we obviously prepare as much as we can for that. Normally, if we know a storm's coming, we already have the crews in place. We'll have the first crew there ready to go. The salt trucks are loaded. They are ready, and we keep them in the shop ready to go, and we respond as quickly as we can. As soon as snow starts to fall, we're out there and we're spreading salt and trying to keep the roads as safe as possible. I just want people to really know that with the combination of the 2 departments, I mean, we have engineers on staff. We have guys that's trained in these positions that know what they're doing, and they do a fantastic job. So now it's not just the guy on the piece of equipment that goes out and looks at it and sees what needs to happen. I mean, we've got professionals that go out and we evaluate each situation. So when the public calls in and they have a complaint, we want to be sure that we give them the best result possible and as quickly and as safely as possible. So, with the professionals that we have in place, and they go out and evaluate the situation and just the process in general and how the calls come through, who it is dispatched to, and then who it is assigned to. I mean, you don't have just one guy looking at it and say, hey, this is what's going to have to happen. We have a team that's built, that's put together, that are professional and highly qualified to look at this, to give the general public the best job that we could possibly give them. And we're going to improve in that. We're going to continue to build on that. And we want people to know that your calls are not being thrown aside, that they are taken seriously no matter how big or how small it might be. And we're going to take care of it. We're going to get it done for them, and we're going to do the best we can to be sure that that everybody is safe out there. You know, if they're in snow removal, storms that come in, you know, we're going to make sure that we do all that we can do. If there's flooding issues, we're going to make sure that these things are taken care of. You know, they're not considered lightly when they're coming. When the call comes into the department, we don't take it lightly, and we're going to take it very seriously because, you know, someone's home is their life investment. You know, and that's going to be the biggest investment a lot of people ever make, and we want to be able to know that we're doing our part to make sure that that investment is taken care of. And right now, I just couldn't be more proud of the group of guys and gals that's down there, and they're doing an excellent job, and expect for it to continue and to grow, and it would be just an asset for the city and the taxpayers.
If you have any questions about the City of Murfreesboro Engineering Department or the Street Division, please call engineering at 893-6441 or the Street Division Operations site at 893-4380.